Hey, welcome to another episode of How to in a Few. Today we're right in the middle of, I don't know if you want to call it a renovation or a restoration. 2 years ago we were flooded and we're still slowly recovering from that. But we're working on this bathroom, taking it room by room, and one of the things we're doing is rebuilding our toilets. And basically what we're doing is changing out the little mechanisms that work inside the tank to fill the bowl and for the actual flush and everything. So today we're going to remove this toilet from this bathroom because this bathroom's out of commission for a while, and rebuild it, and then we'll probably just set it in the tub where it'll sit until we're ready and finish the flooring and everything that needs to be done, and then we'll put the toilet back in. But I am going to go ahead and rebuild the toilet now so I don't have to do it later. It'll be ready to go right back in place with a new seal after we're finished with this video. So I was holding this, but I didn't tell you anything about it. This is Corky. There's other brands, but it's a complete kit. This is not the cheaper one. It's one of the more expensive ones that's available at your home store. High quality seals. All the parts are included except for the handle part, plus all the fasteners, and so this is what we'll be using. There are some other kits that are not as complete, so make sure you read the labels and get everything that you need before you take on a job like this. Alright, first thing we're going to do is go ahead and turn off the water here at this valve, and then give it a flush so that it'll be somewhat empty of water. I'm also going to remove the lid now and move that into the tub for the time being. So here's a close-up view of that valve, and if we follow the hose we can see that it connects to the bottom of the toilet bowl. We're going to want to undo that. Okay, I simply unscrewed that by hand, and now we're going to disconnect the toilet down here from the floor. And these little caps should just lift off. Sometimes they have wax inside of them, and there's one on each side. Alright, I'm going to use a wrench to undo this nut. Well, the whole thing is loose already. Alright, both sides are loose. Alright, we made a little mess on the floor, but since our floors aren't done yet, everything's alright. So I'm going to rebuild it out here. We're going to clean up a little bit, but I want to show you real quick what we're looking at here. This is an old style wax ring that's seen some better days, and I'm going to go ahead and scrape that off and pull the rest of that flooring off too. And we're going to replace it with a rubber type gasket. Alright, just happen to have floor scrapers because we're working working on floors. Alright, flooring's gone. A little more cleanup to do. Might have to do a repair kit there because one of the flanges is cracked right by the dark area. But we'll get to that after we're done with the rest of the renovations in here. Now we're going to go ahead and work on the toilet. Alright, couldn't find a bucket, so I'm using this garbage can. And there is a nut on the bottom here that I am going to loosen. I think I just tightened. That's going to loosen up this filler. It's also going to cause the rest of the water to drain out. And this is going to go in the garbage. I have a little sediment build up in here, so I'm going to go ahead and rinse that out. Most of the water has been removed. In there's still some water in the bottom of the toilet, but we'll just be careful not to shake it too much to wheel that around. Now inside the toilet there are two that look like big flathead screws right there. And we're going to undo that to take the tank off. Alright, I was attempting to use a speed drill, but these guys are not cooperating. Alright, you didn't get to see much there, but those screws were rusted in place, and so I had to use a little elbow grease to break off the plastic nuts. Thankfully they were plastic nuts, but here they are. Now we can lift the tank off of the toilet. Alright, the rest of the tank assembly on the inside there, the flushing mechanism can be removed. Here, I'm going to go ahead and keep these little rubber grommets. loosen up that giant nut. That should allow the rest of our assembly to be removed. Alright, with our tank done, we'll go ahead and move this to the top. That's going to get a nice cleaning. And then lastly, these toilet seat. I'm going to remove this because these are going to get new screws too. There we go. After a little cleaning, we'll put it all back together and it'll be ready to go. Alright, now comes the fun part. We can open up our pack. First thing we're going to do is reinstall or install our little flapper valve in the tank. We're going to want to orientate that kind of to the side. Let me show you that. It's at kind of an angle. That's going to give us enough room to put our water tower in. Alright, that looks good. Instructions are to do this hand tight. So we'll take a rag though. Next order of business is this seal. I did have a couple of these little rubber jabbers right there when we took it off, so I'm replacing those. Next, we're preparing for our new screws. And then a nut and a washer will go on each side. Now as we tighten those down, it's going to compress that large red spongy seal and the red seals that are on these screws and push this bowl all the way flat onto the toilet. I'm calling it a bowl, but push the tank onto the main part of the toilet and make it flush. Alright, not tight enough. Alright, our bowl is tight enough now, so we are ready for our water filler. Now this water filler is adjustable for height, and the purpose of that is to match the water line. You can look in, you can't see it here because I don't have the camera, but there are markings where there's a water saver line and this one and a water line. We're going to use the full water line, and there's also a water line mark here, so we want those two lines to match up, and then we'll click it in place and lock it. But first, let's just install it. Be careful to check the instructions. These have to go on a certain way, and it might look a little counterintuitive. So our water line's going to be around there, and we'll adjust this overflow so that it's at about the same height. And we are almost done. You're going to want your toilet bowl to fill up. So we'll need this attachment. Onto here, and they have a shutoff valve. Changed one of these not too long ago. It did not have a shutoff valve, so that is a little peculiar to me. And this clips on here. shoots water into our overflow. The issue is going to be not liking what's going on here. So turn it a little bit. See if I can't get this to click on a little further. There we go. We want this chain to be kind of snug so that when you touch the lever, it lifts the flap. So these chains are usually a little bit long. And what I do is I kind of hook back a little ways and then hook it into the first. So I have a little bit of slack, but it still lifts. I have a little more slack than what I would like. So I was through here. I'm going to go a couple of links further. And then clip it. Alright, so now I have almost no slack. So when the person touches it, it'll lift the ball until it will flush. And on that nut down here, and tighten up my water spigot. And there we go. Alright, for our next trick, we will reattach the toilet seat. Alright, now we're going to hope that those little flaps close on top. And there we go. Nice and tight. Lid back on. And now we have what appears and functions to be a new toilet. Now, because we're doing renovations in here, I'm not going to mount it, but if I were, you could go with a traditional wax seal or something like this, which is a rubber replacement kit. It's warranted for like 10 years. It comes with a spacer. If your toilet seal is below the floor, where it's like it sinks in below the tile or something, then you would need this spacer. If you saw when we took it out that ours actually is about 1/2 inch above the floor, so we don't need the spacer. We would simply put this into the hole, put the toilet in, and use our hardware screws to reattach it. I'll go ahead and make another video when that actually happens, but that's still a while away, at least until we get this painted. And assuming I'm going to put the flooring in first before I put the toilet down. Alright, so there you have it. Remove the toilet and completely changed all the guts and inner workings so that it will be working correctly once we get to that point of reinstalling it. This stops leaky toilets don't flush right, drips on the side, run-ons, and even ones I guess that don't have enough power maybe to flush. You have to make sure you adjust the water level correctly for your toilet so that you get the design amount of flushing power. So hopefully you found that helpful, and if you did, give me a thumbs up as usual, or maybe subscribe. Those are the two ways that you can help out YouTubers like me. And other than that, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.